The job market is like a first date, where you dress up, show up on time, bring your best material, and they ghost you. 2 weeks later, you see the HR flirting with another candidate. Soon, you receive an email that says, "We've decided to move forward with another guy for reasons that we can't tell you." Okay, fine, he has a third nipple. And they will write that in Comic Sans to add insult to injury. Some markets do this to everyone. Some are actually decent. Let's find out which is which. Welcome to the job market, where hope goes to get a second interview and then never hear back.
Wait till the end, where we will address the elephant in the room.
Now, before we get into it, let's be clear about the ranking criteria. S tier is the dream. Like, your cousin's dog could probably send a resume and get a callback. Easy to break into, good pay, good life. D tier is the nightmare. The kind of nightmare where you wake up, realize you're still in the interview process, and go back to sleep just to escape. Flooded with applicants. The pay is insane, and getting in feels like a hostage negotiation where you're both the hostage and the negotiator. Everything in between is just varying degrees of, it could be worse.
Let's begin. First is software. There's a version of this conversation we would have had in 2021 where software engineering sits comfortably in S tier, no debate. Learn to code, they said. Six-figure salary straight out of college, they said. And honestly, for a while, that was true. You could sneeze into a laptop, upload it to GitHub, and a recruiter from a FAANG company would show up at your door with a compensation package and a kombucha. Then came the layoffs. Then came AI writing half the code. Then came the part where every computer science graduate from every university on the planet had the same idea at the same time. And suddenly, the entry-level job that used to require 2 interviews now requires a technical screening, a take-home project, a live coding round, a system design round, a behavioral round, and a blood sample. And that's just to work at a company whose main product is a to-do list app. That said, once you're in, you're in. The pay is still great, the work is genuinely interesting, and working from home in your pajamas isn't a perk they advertise, it's just Tuesday. The problem is the door. Getting through it is now a full-time job in itself, which is ironic because you need a job to survive while you're trying to get the job. The hustle is real. This will be in the B tier. Trades. These are the people that become electricians, plumbers, and people who basically play Jenga with your house. Everybody laughed at the trade school kids. Everybody told them to go to college, get a degree, rack up the debt, and end up applying for jobs that require 3 to 5 years of experience for a role that's been open since 2022.
Employment? What sort of crazy moon talk is he speaking?
Meanwhile, the trade school kids learned how to fix things that actually break, and now they're out here charging $200 an hour to come to your house, look at your boiler for 45 seconds, and say, yeah, that's the issue. They leave in 12 minutes. They're already on to the next job. The beautiful thing about the trades is that nobody's going to offshore your plumbing. No one in India is fixing your burst pipe remotely.
Okay.
AI cannot snake your drain. These are physical, essential, skilled jobs that society literally cannot function without. And for years, they were treated like the consolation prize of career paths.
You ain't a prize.
The market has woken up. The demand is sky high. The supply of trained workers is genuinely low. And the guy fixing your electrical panel is making more money than the guy who spent 4 years studying economics and now writes emails for a living. It's not glamorous. Your back will know about it. But it's stable. It's paid well. It's recession-proof. And nobody's going to replace you with a chatbot. Not yet, anyway.
Now who's laughing? It's not you, because this belongs to the S tier.
Finance and investment banking. You're 22, just graduated, you got the Goldman Sachs internship. You crushed it. You got the return offer. You are the main character. And then week 1 of full-time hits, and you realize that the salary everyone was so impressed by is being paid out at roughly $9 an hour. Once you factor in the fact that you are never leaving the office, you are eating dinner at your desk, you are sleeping under your desk, you have started referring to sunlight as the outside screen. Investment banking is one of those industries where the pay sounds incredible until you divide it by the hours and realize a barista in San Francisco is technically doing better per hour and also has a body that functions. The exit opportunities are real, the prestige is real, and the skills you build are genuinely transferable, but the years you spend building them look a lot like slowly feeding your 20s into a shredder while a managing director tells you to add some color to the deck. If you can survive the entry grind, the market opens up nicely. Private equity, hedge funds, corp dev, the options are there, but getting in requires the right school, the right internship, the right contacts, and the right capacity for suffering. This one goes to B tier because the money is real, but so is the damage.
A crucial one to have in life because someone is always suing somebody for spilling yogurt on their sweater. Law school is 3 years, obscenely expensive, and ends with the bar exam, a test so brutal that even the people who've been studying law for 3 years find it genuinely hard to pass. After taking the exam, you will end up in a bar. The only difference is you'll either celebrate or plan your villain arc. All of that so you can graduate, join a big law firm, and bill 2,200 hours a year while slowly forgetting what hobbies are. The thing thing about law is that it has two completely different job markets living inside one title. There's big law, where the money is genuinely absurd and the hours are genuinely more absurd. And then there's everything else. Public interest law, small firms, government work, where the hours are better, the meaning is higher, and the pay makes you wonder why you didn't just become a paralegal. The market is also quietly being eaten from below by AI that can do document review faster and cheaper than a first-year associate pulling an all-nighter on Red Bull and resentment. The credentials still carries weight. The path in is brutal. The market on the other end is split between life-changing money and noble suffering. C-tier. It rewards the very few at the top and humbles everyone else. Entertainment and acting. Nobody told you this when you were doing school plays and everyone clapped. The entertainment industry is not a meritocracy. It is a lottery with better lighting. You can be genuinely, objectively talented. Like, people cry at your auditions watching you cry on command, and spend 15 years doing regional theater, background work, and student films before anything resembling a break arrives. And it might not arrive at all. There are thousands upon thousands of trained, passionate, hardworking actors for every single role that exists. The breakout stories, the ones your aunt brings up when she says, "You just gotta put yourself out there," are statistically equivalent to winning the lottery twice and then finding a 20 on the floor on the way home. And unlike most lotteries, this one requires you to be physically present in Los Angeles or New York, constantly auditioning, constantly available, constantly broke, and somehow also maintaining the emotional openness that makes you a good actor, while the industry systematically strips your confidence down to its studs. This job's place is in the D tier. When you take stay in school a bit too seriously. Academia doing a PhD for 5 years.
Dr. Ross Geller. I'm Dr. Ross Geller.
During which you are paid approximately the same as a part-time shift at a grocery store, becoming the world's foremost expert on one extremely specific thing, let's say the mating habits of a particular beetle in 14th century Croatia, and then graduating into a job market where there are 14 tenure-track positions available globally and 400 people applying for each of them. You spend the next decade bouncing between postdoc contracts in cities you didn't choose, getting paid not much more than you did as a student, while writing grant applications and publishing papers that 8 people will read. And the worst part? You love it. Academia specifically selects for people who are so genuinely passionate about knowledge that they'll accept almost any conditions to stay near it. The market knows this and prices accordingly. The entry isn't hard in the traditional sense. Getting into a PhD program is competitive, but not impossible. Getting a stable career on the other side of it, that's where the floor disappears. D tier. Do it for love, not for money. Healthcare. The one job market on this list that is recession-proof, pandemic-proof, AI-proof, and apparently human decency-proof, given what nurses get paid relative to what they do. The demand is enormous. Every hospital in every country is short-staffed. You will never, and I mean never, graduate as a nurse and spend 6 months unemployed. The job will be waiting. The job will always be waiting because the job has been waiting for 5 years and nobody's shown up. The pay has improved. The respect, in most places, has not quite caught up. You will work holidays. You will work nights. You will see things that cannot be unseen and deal with patients who are scared, in pain, and occasionally taking that out on you. But you will also have a job, a real, tangible, essential job for as long as you want one, in almost any city you choose to live in almost any country on the planet. This is in the A tier, because a job that needs you will always beat a job you have to beg for. And now time for the elephant, OnlyFans creator. The elephant that charges $15 a month for premium content. OnlyFans, as a job market, follows the exact same math as every other anyone-can-do-it platform. And by that I mean, technically anyone can do it, but the top 1% of creators make 33% of all the money, while the bottom 80% are essentially running a very personal small business for the revenue of a moderately successful lemonade stand. You sign up thinking you're going to be the exception. Statistically, you are very much not the exception. You are the lemonade stand. The barrier to entry is, famously, low, as in ground floor low. But most people, men, think you are born a girl, and by the magical wand of OnlyFans, become rich without putting in the effort. However, this is far from the truth. The OnlyFans models have to learn real-world skills themselves. You have to learn marketing, make a content schedule, and stick to it. You're not just the product, you're the photographer, the editor, the social media manager, the customer support team, and the brand, all at once. All at once, all for free, all before you've made a single dollar. And on top of that, you have to maintain that body by staying consistent with with the gym track macros like a math nerd. And then there's the part nobody puts in the pitch. The internet is forever. That's a great feature for cat videos. It is a complicated feature for everything else. The ones who treat it like a real business, with strategy, boundaries, and a genuine understanding of audience building, can make genuinely life-changing money. The ones who treat it like a get-rich-quick scheme find out fairly quickly that it is not that. This will also be in the B tier. If you enjoyed and want more tier lists, don't forget to subscribe and like